Okay, 8th grade. Now we're going to switch to 221 to 222 for your homework. It's going through angles again, but now it's identifying the different pairs. We've talked about corresponding, which means they're congruent. We've talked about alternate interior. So when they say alternate interior, that's 4 and 5. So that means they're across from each other. All right, and then alternate interior, and then 1 and 3 work together as well. They're on the same side of the line, and that's what they call supplementary. Okay? Corresponding was 1 and 9, so that just means that they're maybe separated by different things, but they're still the same angle. Okay? So that will just come with time memorizing it. It says name a different pair of corresponding, interior, and linear. So when I'm looking at the different ones, we could do, here's angle 6. And if I wanted corresponding, so this is 1 and 9, I could say 6 and 10. Because here's 10. So angle 6 and angle 10. If I want alternate interior, which means they're opposite sides, I could say 8 and 9. If I want a linear pair where it like skips but it still works, I could do that on the other side, which is 2 and 10. Perfect. All right, use the diagram. If angle 7 is 108, what is angle 12? So if angle 7, this one right here is 108, what is angle 12? Well, these are outside of each other on opposite sides, right? So we're talking about the alternate interiors are usually the same. However, we have to use different corresponding because 7 corresponds to 11. So this is 108, which means 11 is 108. Okay, remember this is a straight line, so this is 180. So we're going to have to subtract them to figure out what this is. So you have to take angle 7 is, and we have to use our vocabulary right here that we just learned. So 1 and 9 was complementary, so, or corresponding. So it's corresponding to angle 11. So I take the straight line angle of 180 and subtract 108 to get angle 12. So 180 minus 108 is 72. Angle 12 is 72 degrees. So you can use all these different angles to find what you're looking for. The nice thing is they show you 3 different ways to do this. So often you can choose which one you remember the best. I usually remember alternate interior just because they're across from each other, and that helps me figure out the problem. So when it says to solve it my own way, I usually will solve with alternate interior. Okay, so it says explain how you found your measure. We explained it. We can move on to 222. All right. A and B are parallel with 3. All right. I want to just make sure I'm doing this correctly. So if it says A right here and B are parallel, that means that this is the way that we can actually solve things. So if it says angle 3 is 65, you want to make sure to put that in there. And it says angle 11 is 100. Okay, what you're noticing here, you could make some noticing decisions that there's going to be a lot of ones that match up. I'm already seeing that 11 can match with 7, so that will be 100. I see that 3 is across from 1, so that one's vertical, so that'll be 65, right? We can see that this is across from this, so that will be 65. So now it's asking me, find the measure of angle 2, 5, and 13. So looking at angle 2, here's my straight line, okay? And this is 65. So I'm going to take my 180 and subtract 65 to find angle 2. So I do 180 minus angle 3, which is 65. So 180 minus 65. 180 minus 65 is 15. Angle 2 equals 15 degrees. Okay, and then when we're trying to find the next angle, I'm able to decide that I'm going to, so when I did my division, I didn't keep my 1 here, it's 115. All right, angle 5. So here's angle 5. It's directly across from angle 7. That's easy one. It's 100. So angle 7 is vertical to angle 5. And that means they are congruent and equal. So angle 5 equals 100. See, because they said angle 11 is 100. So if they're right like that for each other across, you have to also say angle 11 and angle 7 are corresponding. There we go. Showing how I figured out that went here corresponds to here and went across to be vertical. Okay. Angle 13 is right here. Okay, so what do I know? I know that 3 corresponds to 15. Angle 3 corresponds to angle 15. So angle 15 is, well, we wrote right here, 65 degrees. Angle 13 is vertical to angle 15. So they are equal. Okay, and they want angle 13. Angle 13 is 65 degrees. All right. Find the measure of angle 3, 8, 9, and 14. 3, 8, 9, 14 to show that the sum is 360. Okay. So looking at this, they're saying this trapezoid, when you put them all together, it should equal 360. So if I'm trying to find angle 3, that's right here. How I found that out was they told me angle 3 was 65. Okay, that was told to you. Angle 8 corresponds or is supplementary to angle 7. Okay, if it's supplementary angle 7, that means I do 180 minus 100. So it gets 80. Okay, we have 65, we've got 80. Angle 9 is right here. It's vertical to angle 11. Which means they're equal. So if angle 11, you remember, is 100, then so is angle 9. And then angle 14, which is right here. Remember how we got the 65? So it is angle 3 and angle 15 are corresponding. So I take 180 minus 65 to find angle 14, right? So 180 minus 65, 115. Okay, so what they're saying is you've got 65, 80, 100, and 115. So when I add all those up, 65 plus 80 plus 100 plus 115, it equals 360. So that's how I proved it. All trapezoids are 360 degrees. And I just proved it by finding all the angles in a trapezoid. Okay? Are angle 3 and angle 5 congruent? So here's 3 and here's 5. They look like they could be alternate interior, but these are not parallel, so they can't be. No, this is because all lines are not parallel. Right? They're not parallel. If not parallel, alternate interior rules do not apply. So the first thing to check on any quiz is, do I have these two sets of parallel lines? If this is slanting and this is slanting, you don't have parallel lines and you can't use those rules. Okay, so that is going to be 221 and 222.